Hello. Thank you, my friends, for joining me today as we spend these few moments with our Good Shepherd. Today we're skipping ahead a little bit in chapter 10 and picking it up with the story of Jesus healing the blind man. It starts at verse 46 and it goes through verse 52. But for now, I'll read just verse 50. He tossed aside his outer garment, jumped up, and went to Jesus. The Gospels contain a lot of accounts of Jesus healing people. They're full of those wonderful miracles. But the healing of this particular blind man is unique in a couple of ways. First of all, Mark gives us takes the effort to tell us this man's name. It was Bartimaeus. Typically, it was a woman or a centurion or a man or a mother or a father, but here he's given the name Bartimaeus. And the second reason is what Bartimaeus did. Bartimaeus, being blind, had to be a beggar. That meant he sat on the city streets and begged for some gifts as people passed by. That's how he made his livelihood. But when Jesus called him, we read that he tossed aside his cloak. Now that cloak had to be really important to Bartimaeus. It was the only thing that kept him warm on those cold nights. It sheltered him from the rain. It protected him from the sun. You could almost think of it as that security blanket, kind of like the one that Linus would always drag around with him in the Peanuts cartoons. But when Jesus called him to come to him, Bartimaeus tossed that cloak aside. And he cried out to Jesus, "Jesus, Son of David." That was a sign of faith, of praise. And Jesus asked the man, "What do you want me to do for you?" And Bartimaeus said, "I want to see." And Jesus didn't disappoint. He healed Bartimaeus. And we find out that Bartimaeus continued to follow Jesus. And this was just shortly before Jesus would die on the cross. Now for us, the lesson is that we need to open our hands to receive Jesus as he comes to us. And that might mean we need to toss aside some security blanket that we're holding on to. Do we value Jesus so much? Are we so desperate for him in our life that we're willing to let go of those things that give us financial security or a relationship security or something else that really is that important to us? But compared to following Jesus, it's nothing. Join me in prayer. Jesus, help us trust in your power to heal. Give us faith like Bartimaeus. Help us to believe and guide us to give up everything every day to follow you. Amen. Well, my dear friends, may you always realize that anything you have in this world is nothing compared to the joy of following Jesus.